Hi guys, JT here. Today I'm bringing you some information on 10 games in Fanatical's Prestige Collection of June 2025. To help me answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and have the opportunity to gain early access to videos about buying a coffee through Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi. Your support means the world to me, and I genuinely appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have Distant Worlds 2, a massive, pausable, real-time 4X space strategy game that gives you full control over a living, breathing galaxy. With over 2,000 star systems to explore, you can build your empire through diplomacy, trade, or warfare while managing fleets, colonies, and resources. The game's deep automation tools allow you to fine-tune how much you want to micromanage, whether you prefer commanding every detail or letting AI assistants handle the tedious work. The private economy system adds realism, as trade and logistics function independently from your direct control. Each faction has unique abilities, technologies, and playstyles, ensuring a fresh experience with every playthrough. However, while the scale is impressive, the mechanics do not always deliver meaningful depth. Some systems feel more like spreadsheets than engaging gameplay, and fleet management can be frustrating due to automation quirks. Visually, the game is functional but outdated, and sound design leaves much to be desired. While the UI has improved since launch, it still has rough edges that can make navigation cumbersome. The development team continues to support the game, but updates focus heavily on new factions rather than refining core mechanics. If you love complex strategy games and enjoy tweaking automation to suit your playstyle, Distant Worlds 2 can be an engrossing experience. But if you're looking for a more intuitive and visually polished game, you may find the learning curve and interface off-putting. And number 2 we have Naheulbeuk's Dungeon Master, a satirical take on classic dungeon management games blending comedy with light strategy. You take control of a high-rise dungeon, managing minions, expanding rooms, and fending off adventurers, while navigating a bureaucracy-laden world filled with gags. While the premise is amusing, the execution struggles to maintain long-term engagement. At its core, the game presents itself as a staff management simulator, wrapped in dungeon builder aesthetics. Your minions, while quirky and occasionally troublesome, never pose a real challenge to manage. Strikes, for instance, feel like scripted inconveniences rather than meaningful mechanics. Whether you sacrifice your workforce to a demon lord, or simply wait them out, their dissatisfaction never impacts gameplay in a significant way. Building your dungeon starts strong, with a variety of rooms to unlock, decorate, and improve. However, the challenge quickly evaporates once your economy stabilizes. Expanding floors happens so rapidly that you run out of meaningful ways to utilize space, and maxing out facilities becomes trivial. Even adventurer incursions, a staple of the genre, lack real stakes. Throwing low-level minions at the problem is usually enough. Despite its gameplay shortcomings, Naheulbeuk's Dungeon Master shines in its presentation. The humorous writing, full voice acting, and charming visuals create an enjoyable atmosphere. Unfortunately, the lack of depth in its mechanics prevents it from being more than a fleeting distraction. While it captures the parody aspect well, it does not offer enough complexity to sustain interest, making it a game that's fun in short bursts, but ultimately too shallow to be truly engaging. And number 3 we have New Cycle, a post-apocalyptic city-building game that challenges you to rebuild civilization after devastating solar flares wipe out modern society. You start with nothing, and gradually develop your settlement into a sprawling industrial city, facing harsh environments, natural disasters, and tough decisions along the way. What makes New Cycle unique is its compelling survival-focused gameplay loop. You'll manage limited resources, build infrastructure, train specialists, and maintain citizen morale, all while adapting to sandstorms, water shortages, and disease outbreaks. Every new era introduces deeper mechanics, unlocking automation, advanced tech, and complex logistics networks. The atmosphere is immersive, with detailed visuals and strong audio design helping you feel the weight of your decisions. With that said, the UI can feel cluttered, and it often hides critical production data behind too many clicks. You may find yourself frequently toggling resource views or backtracking to find lost buildings. Managing workforce balance becomes tedious, as key workers constantly die or shift, forcing repeated micromanagement. Expect to restart your settlement more than once. The early game has a steep learning curve, especially when it comes to balancing population growth, health, and energy needs. Wind power is underwhelming, and transitioning to coal can feel jarring without a mid-tier solution. Still, despite its early access limitations and moments of frustration, New Cycle offers a rich, challenging city builder experience. If you enjoy games like Frostpunk or Banished, and don't mind some rough edges, this one has real long-term potential. There must be a future beyond survival, and this game lets you shape it. At number 4 we have Sovereign Syndicate, a steampunk CRPG that blends Victorian London grime with mythological creatures, inviting you into a world where minotaurs, centaurs, and werewolves roam the streets. Instead of flashy ballrooms and zeppelins, you navigate gutter fantasy alleys as 3 unique characters: Atticus Daly, a struggling illusionist, Clara Reed, a courtesan detective, and Teddy Redgrave, a dwarf engineer turned monster hunter. You alternate between these characters in separate but interwoven storylines, personalizing them through choices that grow their abilities and shift their personalities. Rather than traditional character creation, you select from different versions of each hero and evolve them during play, making every decision feel impactful. Sovereign Syndicate leans heavily on narrative over combat. Actions and conflicts are resolved through tarot card draws, not battles, encouraging you to roleplay deeply. Like in Disco Elysium, the voices of your character's traits interrupt the text, pushing you toward clever, cynical, or impulsive decisions. You'll manage hope points instead of health, creating a forgiving system where failure rarely ends your story. Exploration feels rewarding, with a rich glossary to immerse you further into its alternate history. Though the climax feels rushed, and Teddy's arc is less satisfying, the game captures the gritty magic of its world wonderfully. If you love roleplay-driven adventures that focus on character over combat, Sovereign Syndicate offers a stylish, atmospheric journey worth taking. Even if steampunk isn't normally your thing, you might find yourself getting lost in its foggy, fascinating streets. At number 5 we have Ninth Dawn Remake, a massive 2.5D open-world RPG that reimagines the original 2012 title with modern systems, dozens of handcrafted dungeons, and a ton of side content. You step into the land of Montelorn to uncover the mystery behind a vanished lighthouse keeper and the dark power growing in the castle of Maltyr. Whether solo or in co-op, you'll be battling hordes of monsters, looting endlessly, crafting powerful gear, and raising monster allies to fight at your side. If you're a fan of retro-style ARPGs, this one will grab you fast. The gameplay is fast-paced, and the spell casting is flashy and satisfying. With over 45 dungeons and countless enemies, there's always something to explore. You can hatch pets, complete side quests, craft everything from swords to potions, and even play 2 full minigames, a card battler and a fishing roguelike. However, some systems feel rough. The UI shows its mobile roots, and many features like enemy strength or inventory limits aren't clearly explained. Enemies can also feel like damage sponges unless you bring a full pet squad. The deck building and fishing minigames offer variety, but they do drag on longer than they should, and lack depth. Still, the core game itself is highly addictive, the sprite art is beautiful, and the humor and charm in the writing shine. If you enjoy experimenting, dungeon crawling, and building the ultimate character, Ninth Dawn Remake is worth your time. It's a heartfelt RPG that knows its audience, and delivers where it matters most. At number 6 we have Perennial Order, a one-hit kill boss rush action game where you take on the role of a perennial knight battling plant-infected monstrosities to restore a broken world. Inspired by Souls-likes, the game offers a moody, mysterious world, a dozen deadly bosses, and the option to fight either solo or in co-op. Combat is intense and unforgiving. One mistake sends you back to the beginning of the fight, but the more you learn, the closer you get to triumph. In solo play, the pacing feels tight and fair. Bosses go down in minutes if you're precise, and each pattern teaches you something new. Co-op, however, brings mixed results. While Perennial Order smartly lets your down partner support you using vestiges, team-based powers that let them contribute even in death, the health scaling and smaller attack windows often make fights drag. If your partner dies early, you'll feel the pain of slogging through a longer encounter solo. Still, the vestige system is clever, and it keeps both players engaged. Boss design ranges from brilliant to bloated. Humanoid duels are thrilling, reactive, and rewarding. Larger beasts often rely too much on wading through long attack chains before offering tiny damage windows. Traversal between fights feels sluggish at times, especially after intense battles. Customizing your build with instincts adds strategic depth, and while not necessary to succeed, they let you tailor your combat style. Despite some pacing issues and co-op balancing flaws, Perennial Order is a thoughtful, challenging debut. If you enjoy precision-based combat, it's absolutely worth a try. At number 7 we have Viewfinder, a first-person puzzle game where you use photos to reshape reality. Armed with an instant camera and a stack of found images, you can place flat pictures into the 3D world, then walk right into them. Whether it's a snapshot of a bridge, a wall, or even the sky, you can paste it into existence and use it to solve puzzles in ways you've never seen before. The core mechanic is mind-bending and magical. Early puzzles ease you in, letting you rotate and manipulate pictures to clear paths or create new ones. Later challenges add props, rules, and twists that flip your understanding upside down. You might delete obstacles with a sunny sky, or transform a doodle into a staircase. It is clever, endlessly creative, and never overstays its welcome. Visually, the game dazzles with surreal architecture and vibrant backdrops. Each level feels like a modern art gallery that you get to edit with every click. There's even an AI cat that follows you around, yes, and you can't even pet it. And the small details like scribbling on whiteboards or collecting duckies make the world feel alive and playful. Unfortunately, the story falls flat. You're uncovering a climate crisis through audio logs and notes, but the dialogue is bland and forgettable. It does not ruin the experience, but it does weigh down an otherwise brilliant game. Still, Viewfinder is a puzzle box worth opening. Its central idea is so strong, so beautifully executed, that you'll remember it long after the last photo has been placed. At number 8 we have Intravenous 2, a top-down stealth action game that challenges you to think before you shoot, or sneak. As Sean, a hitman with a moral code, you're thrust into a grim tactical world where every footstep, shadow, and sound matters. Whether you're cutting the power to a building or customizing a pistol for maximum silence, Intravenous 2 demands precision. Right from the start, the game lets you tweak difficulty settings that impact everything from AI intelligence to how loud you move. And the result is a tense, rewarding sandbox where stealth feels razor sharp and mistakes are brutally punished. The new weapon customization system is robust. Every attachment changes your approach, from speed and accuracy to noise levels. You're not just picking gear, you're planning a strategy. Levels are bigger, smarter, and more interactive. You'll crawl through vents, manipulate lights, and bait guards into traps. And when stealth fails, a throwing knife or burst fire Glock 20 make sure you're not left defenseless. Visually, the game's gritty pixel art style is more refined than ever, and the soundtrack, especially tracks like The Nightclub and Police Precinct, delivers pulse-pounding tension and cinematic flair. Dual protagonists, varied ammo types, and day-night missions add layers of depth and replayability. Intravenous 2 is not for the faint of heart, but if you crave deliberate immersive stealth, it's one of the sharpest tools in the genre. It respects your intelligence and rewards your patience. And in this world, patience is survival. At number 9 we have Behind Glass, Aquarium Simulator, a highly realistic and relaxing aquarium simulator that lets you build and manage your dream fish tank right on your PC. Whether you're an aquascaping pro or someone just looking to unwind, this game offers the freedom and depth to create stunning underwater scenes with no grinding, no locked content, and no stress. You start with full access to over 230 fish species, including turtles, crabs, and axolotls, and an expansive toolbox of plants, decorations, and tank shapes. Want to build a saltwater reef, a lush freshwater setup, or something completely surreal? Go for it! Every fish has lifelike animations and behaviors, and the water simulation adds a layer of authenticity as it tweaks salinity, pH levels, and temperature to keep your creatures healthy. There's also a designer mode, perfect if you want to focus on aesthetics without worrying about biology. Still, the level of detail, like realistic lighting, background customization, and even fish breeding, gives you reason to stick around beyond your first few tanks. While the core gameplay is soothing and satisfying, some players might find it repetitive after many creations. Suggestions from the community, like curved tanks, more crustacean varieties, and younger fish options would help long-term variety. Fortunately, developer updates are ongoing, and the game already offers an impressive content base. If you've ever wanted a peaceful interactive screensaver that you can fully customize, Behind Glass is an aquatic escape worth diving into. At number 10 we have Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, Reforged. A beautifully restored version of the 1996 point-and-click classic that blends historical conspiracy, globetrotting adventure, and dry wit into one unforgettable journey. You play as George Stobart, an American tourist-turned-investigator, after a bombing outside a Parisian cafe draws you into a tangled web of Knights Templar myths and shadowy organizations. From the sunlit streets of Paris to the ruins of Irish castles, ancient Syrian alleys, and Spanish haciendas, every location bursts with updated high-resolution detail. The new 4K visuals retain the original's charm, while adding smoother animations and vivid, emotionally rich backdrops. If you're returning from the original, you'll appreciate how faithfully everything's been remastered. If you're new, this is the best way to meet George and his journalist partner Nico Collard, even if Nico sadly remains a sideline presence. Puzzles stay true to the original, meaning they're thoughtful, rewarding, and occasionally brutal. Yes, the infamous goat puzzle is still here. Thankfully, a new hint system helps you avoid getting stuck for hours. Dialogue is sharp, the cast delightfully eccentric, and while some voice recordings show their age, particularly Nico's, George's performance remains pitch perfect. You'll find plenty of options to tailor the experience, from switching to classic visuals to fine-tuning subtitles and controls. While missing some content from the director's cut, Reforged still stands as a loving tribute to a genre-defining classic. If you're up for a smart, stylish mystery with a sense of humor, this adventure deserves your attention. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle definitely has some bangers, but man, the price tag hits hard after the Steam summer sale. If you're looking at around $7 per game, which is rough when half your wishlist just got discounted yesterday. Still, if Viewfinder or Vengeful Guardian Moonrider are your jam, there's solid value here, just not if you're after deep cuts or max savings. Not a bad lineup overall, but yeah, timing is absolutely brutal. Might be smarter to wishlist and wait it out. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider unlocking early access to videos or buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.